Good freaking lord! Swear, try to get recaps in and everything like that. I try to sit down for half hour, 45 minutes, and keep getting pulled away or something like that. On the bright side, we're making progress in the real world con. We had to push back the grocery shopping thing till Sunday, so we're last minute in it. What a mess, but still looking forward to it. Anyway, where were we? Um, I had left off where that black box had appeared in our room and the thing had struck Rohan, and he turned into one of those like Lobo Hulk looking things. By Lobo, I mean he has like the really pale skin and everything like that, and the Hulk is he's kind of very hulked out. Now, the last one of these that I experienced secondhand was fighting like a second Azuru, so kind of scary. But as you know, it's like I didn't know the source of it or anything like that. It's like Rohan's literally the weakest person in the group, so who knows what we're gonna like be up against or anything like that. Um, the he like starts to like hulk out and freak out, and I think he like blows like the top of the apartment building off. Okay, well apparently whatever this is bumped his power up significantly. Kato and I jumped to Super Saiyan just because it's like our fastest jump, and like the bet like kind of, it's like it takes us a couple seconds to jump up to two, whereas like we can instantly flash to one. Um, and just like that gap, because we see like Saya and Pan running towards Rohan like out of panic, like to come to his aid, and we're just both like I kind of like looked at Kato like we need to get out of here, and so we we start booking it. I grab Saya, he grabs Pan, and boom, there's this big explosion, and the the we'll call it the fight starts. Whatever he is enough to bring on the attention of things on this planet that are these like robotic drones that I think that are like they're basically meant to like I don't want to say maybe incapacitate, but like at least restrain like something that's crazy going on like within those power level kind of things. And this planet is terra fitted, so that means it's suited for like those super powered fights and everything like that. Like if a planet isn't terra fitted, like a Super Saiyan 2 and definitely a 3, like a Super Saiyan 2 can mess it up severely, and a Super Saiyan 3 can just outright destroy it. Whereas terra fitted planets are reinforced in certain ways to prevent that from happening. Like they're a lot harder to destroy, a lot harder to blow up. Anyway, we managed to get some space, and then I think I don't see Kato at this point because we both kind of went in opposite directions, and Rohan Hulk starts to rampage. So I jumped to two, and again, it's kind of a fast jump. Bring my armor out and everything like that, and man, the whole thing is just like this blur of chaos and terribleness and everything like that. So the idea that maybe he, because Rohan's so weak as a starting Saiyan, that he doesn't that he it does like it's not the same power boost. No, it's the same power boost. We're out there thrashing around. He's like letting like, it feels like he's this tsunami of energy is the way the DM described it, and it's just like he's he's like, oh, what was the first thing he did? Is like there's this giant hand that covers my face, and he launches me into space, and it's just like it seems like it's more rampagey and less like efficient fighting by any means. Like because if I think if he just like if he would have cracked me a good one, he might have been able to kill me. Maybe not through the armor. I might be able to like I might have blacked out or something like that. But um yeah, I wake up in space like gasping for air and everything like that. Where and I'm trying to like make my way back to the planet, but his like energy wave is like crashing against people, and it's like twos and threes, and it's just like they'll like crash against them, and then like their power will drop, and then like they'll crash against them again, and then like their power is just gone. So he is just tearing through people at this point, and it's like I don't know how many people he killed, probably a lot, and he seems like he's focused on me for some reason, which is weird. But it might be because like the tattoos are drawing him to me. I don't know, because like I later find out there's something with the tattoos uh, that I have. This rampage goes on. Like I said, I get tossed into space. I manage to make it back down. I'm kind of running. Like there was one point like I'm running like away from people, and like some people are running towards it, and there's this giant machines trying to restrain them, and they're generally failing, but they're having some of the better effects. Uh, in addition to like the people trying to like go against him, and what was it? Oh yeah, like I said, he's constantly going after me. So I had grabbed Saya, and then there was some other random Saiyan dude who was trying to get away. Like they were moving at the same speed, and so I grabbed him up. I was like, maybe you get to live today, buddy, because like the other people that are just aren't going to be fast enough. And so I feel the wave coming towards me again, and it's like I said, like that's where I was just like, why is he chasing me? Like it doesn't make any sense. Like what the heck's going on? Um, so I see this other two that I'm flying beside. I'm like, here, catch. I was like, he's after me. I'll give you time. And the guy just looks at me like, oh, dude, like you are done for. Because apparently this guy saw some of the chaos and carnage while I was getting launched away. Um, so he managed to catch Saya and random Saiyan dude who I decided to save that day. And I kind of stop, put like a defensive stance up, and like just getting ready for the hit that's going to come to me. And it comes, and it sends me. Oh no, wait! I think that's where there's these weird. I can't remember. Like maybe that's where I got knocked away at some point. Anyway, it was very chaotic. I'm gonna be a little shady on the course of events because my notes were sparse for the session because it was very action packed, and I take bad notes when that happens. And I wanted to get the recap out earlier, but you know how things happen, and here we are, like Friday out of the Monday, 4 days later. Anyway, general theme being like there's a lot of chaos and everything like that. It turns out Mira shows up, and they're using these like weird golden tethers to kind of try to tie him down, and it seems like despite being significantly less powerful than him, the tethers at least, like they're actually working in some way, which goes with my theory that this thing is somehow tied to like those infernal creatures, because like my tattoo was basically meant to fight the Cerberus and resist the effects of the infernal things, especially like that. So like this thing might be tied to it, and given like the little black hopelessness feeling thing that Rohan got hit with, like it kind of makes sense. So kind of like that whole Superman weakness to magic, like the Mira's people like might have some access to some kind of magic that is stronger against this kind of thing, but despite like the individual members being weaker. So they start to do it, and she's just like, she's surprised to see me there, like just kind of blown away. And I'm just like, here. She's like, Everest? And so they're trying to tether it, and like the one guy's losing it, and she's like, hold, and then like those machines show up again, and they start to do this red laser thing where I think it was like to, like I said before, like to kind of like hold him down or like restrain him or like trap him, and it's interfering with the thing. um it's interfering with Mira's process, which seemed like it was generally working. So she's like, no. So like I just literally jump right into action, and I go to try to take out one of these machines. The only problem is I feel like these machines are meant to deal with like threes and fours. As a two, it like has this energy nullification thing, or like this these like weird Doc Ock tentacles and stuff like that. And it's like whatever it was, whenever it captured my pillar, because like I was basically going to try to like blow one of them up and then like disrupt the process. It immediately shut me down. Like it just like took the energy from me, the control from it, and just dissipated it. It's like, oh, right on. Like these things are meant to fight like, global threat kind of things. Like it's like a global defense system. So that failed. Mira's thing failed, and like the Rohan Hulk is like going back to these machines now, and like bashing them up and everything like that. Uh, so what was, I remember there's something else that happened. I'm trying to make sure that I'm trying to get like the best course of events. If I forget it, we'll go back to it. But That fails. I think I get knocked away again. Like just the like it's just the power of fighting someone like that. Like if it was like an actual second Zuru who had rose up to that level by fighting, like a lot of people would have been dead a lot of times over, especially me. But because it was more rampagey and just like flinging and throwing and like roaring and like letting off like that kind of energy, it was a lot less. I think it was a lot less deadly. Still very deadly to people below a certain level, but like a lot less effective against like superpowered warriors. But like anyone who tried to go toe to toe them, it's not happening. Like you're getting smashed easily, just because like you're getting caught like in the epicenter of the rampage. So like I like I said, there was basically I think we're gonna say more rampaging happening. Rohan was trying to take out those machines that were trying to stop him, and at some point in all this, like Pan shows up, I think we get knocked away to a new area and everything like that. And this is where Pan shows up, and she's like trying to reach him, and it actually slows his rampage a bit. But Mira's people show up again, and they do the capture. And Mira does this thing where like she puts like a seal on his head, and there's this giant blast that comes down, and like I'm at the epicenter of it because like I'm trying to like like I was like Pan was right there, and I'm right behind her, and I think like I managed to grab Pan and like kind of shield her from the brunt of the explosion and take it myself. Because like again, like Pan's a Super Saiyan. Like Pan's like like sure, that's all well and good, but she's still only a Super Saiyan. Like she's one of those people you can get caught in the wake, and I have multiple defensive layers to help mitigate that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think I managed to protect her, but it knocks me unconscious. I wake up and I'm in one of those crescent moon like hidden bases, and Mira's there, or no, someone else is there. There's a woman there, and I forgot her name. Mira mentioned it to her, but I didn't write it down because at this point I'm just like freaking out with everything that's going on. And she was like, she kind of gives me like the this woman there is like kind of like the give me like this sympathetic look of just like, 'cause, like I got messed up. Like so I've been messed up. Like the whole glass shards thing has messed me up, and then like I'm on this sensu bean diet of getting my body like destroyed and everything like that, and then getting brought to the brink, and it's just like not having a chance to fully heal or fully recover. Like I think even in that fight, like I was like 50%. It was like I still wasn't. Now me being 100% wouldn't have made a huge difference, but like it would have made some difference. And that's going to be like the general theme for the rest of this session is like not being able to get above like 50, 60, 70% and just not being at 100%. So like things are sore, like my insides still feel like they're about half torn up, and it's just like you're running on empty, even though like I'm getting some energy reserves from sensu beans. Mira says that they managed to subdue him, and that they're gonna have to like put him down because like the process can't be reversed or anything like that. And I was just like, it's like that's really sad to hear. And I'm just like, yeah, I was like, like just let me see him at least, like let me see what's going on. And she's like, I can't let you do that. It's like the tattoos might set it off, and which is fair. Like that's a fair assessment. Like I don't want to let Rohan loose and all that other kind of stuff again. But like I just don't want to let him die without trying anything. So I'm just like you gotta tell me what's going on. So I come to find out that completely, mostly separate events is what the whole Rohan Hulk thing was. Because I'm trying to figure out how the heck this ties into Pan and the Helix that we've been running from. It turns out that Mira's group was tracking this individual, and that black box that she used and the thing that I experienced with Lane of Lore was a weapon of some sorts. And that's like basically what that process that went to Rohan is he was, it's kind of like it's like I guess the equivalent of a bomb you would drop on a city, only this way you hit someone with it and set them loose. Like but it's like a infernal weaponized device. And that's what happened. And apparently Mira's people had like found ways to limit her from setting off this device, but they were still trying to track her down. And then there was something in my tattoos that allowed her to do it. Now here's the thing. I don't know, it's like their origins is kind of a bit of a mystery to me. Like, I know how I got them, I know the process, but like it's some ether magic that just I'm not overly familiar with because it deals with that infernal thing. Um, because again, it was with fighting the Cerberus and everything like that. But she was able to apparently find a way to allow those things to act as the catalyst. I think that's what she said, but it's like, yeah, I'm taking her at her word for that at that one. Um, who knows? But yeah, like that was the reason she set it off around me, or was able to set it off around me. Um, and I was like, she's like, Rohan's resting and everything like that. And I've been sort of connected to Rohan through the tattoos at this point. Like I can feel his like Rohanish consciousness, not like the Hulk thing, because I can kind of feel like the pain and like the rage and everything like that. And the DM was like, "You're pretty sure he's being tortured?" And I was like, "Mira," I was like, "You need to be straight with me right now." Uh, I was like, this whole thing that because I kind of explained to her what I've been doing, and I was like, you need to understand. I was like, I don't know who I can trust at this point. I've had people like stab me in the back, like people that I've trusted. They've lied to me and everything like that. Like, I need to know that you're in this with me and everything. I was like, so what's going on? And I think, yeah, she was like much higher than me. I think she was still in two at this point. I was knocked unconscious, so I was at base level, and she just kind of like lets out this like pain sigh, and she appears next to me and like shoots me with this or hits me with this needle full of like a sedative. And it's just, oh my gosh, like it's the worst thing she could have ever done, because I'm just like, are you like, because now I'm thinking like, is she in on it? Like, is she a part of this faction? Like, because like literally like Emrys has been getting like betrayed left and right here by people. Before she did that, I found out Kato's in like really bad shape. Like, he really got messed up apparently. But again, like I'm starting to figure out that Emrys with like the armor and the defensive matrix is a lot more durable than I originally gave him credit for. Um, yeah, so he's messed up. But anyway, she does that. And I'm just like, don't do this, don't do this. And like part of it's like for Rohan, but part of it's like, you're betraying me. Like, and I had explained to the DM after the fact, after the session was over, it's like, this is still all Mira's fault, because me getting drug into this is only a result of her dragging me into getting the Cerberus in the first place. Because the reason she called on me for the Cerberus is because I was an ether magic user, and they needed someone they didn't have access to anyone with ether magic. So I got those tattoos because I'm an ether smith. And the reason the woman was attracted to me was because I'm an ether smith, and I had those tattoos she gave me. So it's just like, I'm still cleaning up your messes, which is upsetting. Like, this is after the fact and everything like that. And then whenever you needed me and whenever you needed help and everything like that, I was there for you. And then whenever, because I haven't even said to her, I was like, listen, I was like, if Rohan has to die, I was like, I understand. He's one person in the Republic. As like in our system, the Republic is bigger than any one person. I understand that. I was like, but I was like, you at least got to like you know let me kind of confirm some things and everything like that. And she wouldn't even let me do that. And that's why I was just like, she betrayed me and everything. And it's like, even though she comes back a little bit more later, it's like, no, that betrayal's still there. Like that, expect, because especially after I'd explained to her everything that had happened and all the betrayals that had happened up until this point, and like not knowing who to trust and all this kind of stuff, like breaking that trust is going to be a little harder for her to earn back than just like showing up and everything. So I wake up and I'm in like a dungeon kind of thing, and Opal's there, and she's like, "We're gonna get you out of here." I was like, "Oh, thank goodness!" Like, Opal's here, and she's on my side and everything like that. Like, Opal's ride or die at this point. So so yeah, baby, let's go. Let's get out of here. I basically follow suit with her. She's already got kind of a plan. She's made contact with Sai and Rohan. Like, I've been out for a little bit. Um, we go to to like basically sneak our way through the thing. She gives me this little flower to hide my power, my presence, everything like that. Cause Opal's good for that kind of stuff. And we almost make it out, and some guy catches us. He's like, "Hey, over there!" And at this point, like I'm running on E, but like I still like he's definitely more powerful than I am because I'm at base level. So I flash to Super Saiyan, and he comes over like as I'm doing that and like paralyzes my right arm. So I'm getting ready to fight him and everything like that. And I think the guy's name was Sai, and Opal's like, no, no, wait, like he's the one that he's the one that killed the Cerberus, and apparently Sai's brother died extra terrible to that thing. As I come to find out, as a little bit more is revealed, and he kind of has this like crisis of faith when it comes to the crescent moon and everything like that, and like because he's skeptical at first, and like it was like, would Opal be making this up? And I was like, no, no. I was like, we fought to avenge Master Toguro, and I forget the guy who gave me the tattoos. It was his second, no, because Quintus was his second. Who was it? I said Master Toguro in the session, but I don't think that was right. Anyway, there was a dude, an Ether Smither himself, who gave me the tattoos. Toguro Master is dead. Where the heck is the tattoos? Saigon, Quintus, okay. Yeah, apparently that was also some bad notes. But anyway, he has me dip my hands in this weird like ether ink, and then gives me the tattoos and everything like that. And I was like, yeah, like we avenged to Guru, something like that. And so it's like me just kind of like shouting that out or like kind of explaining that to him unprovoked, or like like Opal not having any kind of like that's a detail that someone who wasn't there probably wouldn't have known. And yeah, it's enough to kind of get him to like second guess, and he's like, because he's getting ready to leave, and I was like, hey, like we like I had a brief like talk about it, like not too much because we're just trying to get out of there. And he's like, so this is him, huh? Like the guy who killed the Cerberus. And she had explained to me, like I said, that his brother had died like extra terrible to that thing, because you do experience a very terrible death when it comes to those infernal things like that. And he's like, okay, but he's like, you can't come back, like, oh, this is kind of Opal's out of the crescent moon, like she kind of betrayed them and everything like that, but he's gonna let it slide. And I was like, hey, can you like undo whatever you did to my arm, because like I might need this here coming up to whatever we're gonna face. And he says, yeah. And then he asked me about like how the Cerberus dies, and I was like, I can still remember the thing screams. And he just kind of like gives me that firm head shake, and I guess he could rest a little easier knowing the thing that killed his brother like died a terrible death. Because man, I did give it to that Cerberus, like, let's be real here. That thing got it. And it was panicking, and it was afraid, and it died screaming. Got the old we'll call it the Emrys treatment, but not really. We make our escape. We pick up Pan and Saya, who one of them has Kato wrapped up in this like weird mummification thing to kind of stabilize him, because apparently they don't have healers there that are wherever they're on site is not quite good enough to kind of get him back to where he needs to be, or something like that, something to the fact, or they were going to see to his treatment, I guess. And then they have Rohan Hulk with them too, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to be terrible, because they have him inside the ship now, but he is in like this chamber that he's in, and it's like, it's not keeping him sedated, it's more like quelling his rage, I guess, in a sense. And so we get on board, and we kind of have like a brief discussion about what the plan is. Saya has a plan to undo this process using like an entangled meditation thing, and it relies on Pan's helix ability, but also like me being a power source, and then her kind of guiding it, which I was like, okay, right on, we got a plan. Maybe we can see this through, but like there's some pitfalls along the way. We get Kato to the infirmary, get him hooked up. He's messed up really bad, but it's just like,
him and I have been messed up. Well, he hasn't been as messed up as I've been, but like I've just been getting messed up left and right here, because like we're very much out of our league when it comes to this. Like, I think I had said to the DM after the fact is like I need to go to freaking. Oh, we'll wait for that because like there's something else that happens that adds to that effect. I'll see if I remember it by the time I get there. Um, we have some conversations about stuff, about like Rohan and everything like that. Like he kind of looks sad and like kind of regretful for the stuff that's happened, which it's like it's beyond his control. But I told him I told you I was coming for you, bud. Like I wasn't gonna let you out there or anything like that. But we managed to make it this far, so we'll see it through the rest of the way. So we have our um, we have a planet that's isolated. We have a meeting with High Castle there, and I through some conversation say about like should I reach out to Hikaru? Probably a good idea because we don't need that other enemy, but also like having a second Azuru show up. If people are still following us, like he can maybe help out with that. Great. So we set out. Um, Talk through the plan with Saya a little bit. I managed to wake Kato up with some healing crystals. Opal's working on some sensu beans um, that she can grow because she can do that, but it takes like a magical concoction to be able to do it. So like she downs like this potion and like it's not like she can just grow them on demand or anything like that. Like there's an opportunity cost to it, which seems fair and balanced. But yeah, she's growing those up. Uh, Plan is basically me to act as a battery, Pan to use her helix to kind of shift things around a bit, and then like Sai to kind of to go through the process of like suppressing this thing inside Rohan. As a player, this isn't a fix for Rohan, and we're not going to leave Rohan walking around like a walking bomb, ready to Hulk out at any given time. So like the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to like some ether things and get this thing out of him. Like that's like mission number one if we survive all of this, because like that's a bad time waiting to happen. Um, yeah, so we we talk kind of talk it out a little bit. We get to the planet. There's this barren world, and they're like, "Do you want to do it inside the ship or outside the ship?" I was like, "I'd rather do it outside the ship because if this goes poorly, or if there's like some sort of unexpected reaction, like the ship is our only way out of here. Like if we're trapped on this planet, which is Rohan alone raging, like we're all 100% dead. So like we'll just do it near the ship, but like just outside of it because like the ship is a lot more protected from the from the outside in, but if you're inside it, that's where you can do some real damage easily. um yeah, so we get down, we get it set up, and the memory like the meditation kind of thing is like this going through and like kind of remembering, like you see things through other people's perspectives, and it's like a lot of like memories of things like time spent together and kind of like helping Rohan remember who he was and all this kind of stuff. But it's a bit of a journey, and I get pulled out at some point, and it's like Saya pulling me out, but it's because of what's it called? Kato and Opal were like, yeah, like there's some stuff showing up the scope, and I was like, well, let's hope it's Hikaru and and uh, and High Castle, cause yeah, like this is a delicate process, and there was like a tipping point. I can't remember if this is exactly the tipping point where. Oh, so at this point, I think Rohan was just starting to get angry and agitated, like because of me getting pulled out. But then there's a tipping point later where it just seems like he starts to die. So it's like being away from it and everything like that has a there's like a real we're on like a very tight time kind of thing. So anyway, I go back and I was like, I gotta handle it. Like you guys handle it the best of your ability. I was like, but like yeah, we got to get back in here, or otherwise we're gonna have to deal with a raging Rohan Hulk again on top of whoever is showing up. I'm just like, please let it be the freaking High Castle or High Karu and the New Horizon mercenary group, like here to do this. And of course, like we're in the middle of the meditation, I feel like this sharp pain in my side, like someone blasted me or something like that, or hit me, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like it's not that, like it's there's something going on. And I get pulled out again, and like when I get pulled out, like there's a full-on battle going on out there, and apparently two forces have decided to collide. I come to find out the two forces are Mitsukaru's group and I think High Castle's group. I don't know that the New Horizon there is there or anything like that yet. The It's just like Mira's there too, and Mira's got like her hand around my neck, like she kind of pulled me away, like kind of like from behind me, I think. And I kind of like tell Mira, I was like, I need to get back in there. I was like, or this is going to be really bad for all of us. And Mitsukaru is there, and she's 3, and Mira and I are 2, and it's just like, oh my gosh, like this is going to be terrible. But like, there's like 3s and 2s and stuff fighting all around us, like hundreds and hundreds of people, and just all kinds of craziness. So I was like, because originally, so my original thought process was, this thing is draining my power rapidly, but it did seem like it was helping Rohan also rapidly. But it's like, I think after I'd taken the sensu being like, I'm down to 50% again, like, and on top of being like kind of wrecked up and sore and everything like that. But yeah, like I'm definitely not at 100%. I'm just like, oh my gosh, like my sign of the secret hope was like I could use that power Silver gave me if I needed to get some more energy to like kind of fix this process. But Mitsukaru is there. She's pulling out the lava daggers, and those things are extra vicious, as we saw how bad they messed up Super Saiyan 3. I was like, all right, screw it, DM. I silver her. There was like a little bit of a negotiation first where, oh no, so before that, like Mitsukaru was like referring to Mira and like kind of like to negotiate for Pan, and like Pan's like, fine, take her, and I was like, you can't let her do that. And like she kind of like tightens her grip on me a little bit, and I'm like, okay, this is gonna be bad. Like if you let her take Pan, so she rushes over and takes Pan and is getting ready to leave. I was like, all right, DM, screw it. We silver the greater. We get ready to unleash this dragon powers that I got for like the one-off kind of thing. And because she has Pan, I'm informed that like I have 2. I have one on my left arm, one on my right, and I need to. If I just unleash the one on my left, it's 100% going to kill Pan. So if I unleash the one on my right, I can save Pan and at least attack Mitsukaru. So what happens is there's this Drogon-looking dragon that kind of emerges like with this like silver energy, and it starts going to town on Mitsukaru, like slashing her and biting her and breathing flames and everything like that. Just like general viciousness. And then the right one is like this really like this much smaller, very speedy serpent that managed to get Pan away from her, like to the point where it like surprised the Super Saiyan 3 of the speed of it. So it's like that was kind of everything. Now maybe if Emrys had like his Harlequin powers, he could have probably not done it himself, but like maybe pulled something off. But without those, I'm like, okay, like we're like Mitsukaru is just gonna kill us here, like 100%. Like I'm not in the best fighting shape, and I don't know that Mira is like one of those like vicious one-on-one kind of fighters to the point like where she can hold her own as long as like someone like Dakawan can. But Mira's also a lot faster than me, I find out, like because she's been out there doing her stuff and everything like that, training and getting stronger, and she's a couple years older than me. But yeah, so the dragon like messes her up pretty bad, like gashes and charred and like everything like that, but it runs its course and it's not enough to kill her, and I'm like, oh, that is upsetting, because I was hoping like I could get right back into the meditation and everything like that, and I feel like and it happened very fast. I feel like me being separated from the meditation is Rohan is basically dying at this point, and if I get knocked unconscious or anything like that, he just dies 100%. Like, and if Pan gets taken away, he dies. So it's just like, okay, things are not looking good. Rohan might be dead here. And I was like, part of me is like, do I go back in and try to stabilize the thing? I was like, I can't leave what's her name, Mira, out here with Mitsukaru like one-on-one or anything like that. So the two of us go at her. Mira gets knocked away, and my thought is to kind of like do a pretty broad span blast at her while Mitsukaru is distracted. More so to buy time to get Mira back here. Well, that backfires because Mitsukaru is apparently one of those very vicious SS3s, and me without my my Harlequin speed, like I can't keep up. So in the time it takes me to like do the blast and everything like that, she's beside me and punches me away. So she staggers us really well. And I almost black out, which means like that's a wrap for Rohan. But I managed to keep it. It's just like a, you know, I get kind of knocked away really hard, and by the time I get back, I get there. Mira apparently unleashed something on her, but I get back and Mira's unconscious, but Mitsukaru is like, her power has been significantly diminished, and it's just like, oh no, damn, like this is supposed to be a 2v1, like I'm not in fighting shape as it is, like I'm so banged up and everything like that. And what is it? Oh, I was like, okay, I can't hesitate or anything like that. Like Mitsukaru is obviously weakened and everything. Like I just gotta hope for the best, and maybe someone comes to help, or like maybe like the between the dragon and whatever like finisher move Mira did, like it closed the gap enough. I actually managed to get up on her and get a hold of her, and I'm trying to. I think I'm trying to like detonate, like kind of to bomb her, like my whole suicide bomb thing, where like I can get a hold of her and hold her steady, and then get a pillar to like blow her up with her taking the brunt, and then me kind of like holding her in place, kind of thing. Because like that's kind of like Everest's like fighting style when it comes to desperation, is like the whole Goku holding the thing while Piccolo charges up thing. Like I don't need two people to do it; I can do it by myself. But also, I have some tricks that allow me to not necessarily die in the process as I'm suiciding bombing people. I managed to burst out my speed, not my Harlequin speed, but like I've got like some other little speed tricks, and it's enough to get me on her and to get me to grapple her a bit, and we kind of like grapple it up a bit. I think I'm trying to remember if I blasted her or not. I think she got blasted somewhat. But then she starts calling out this magma thing, and just like the specks of it are starting to like burn. Like it's one of those ones where if I wasn't armored up and if I didn't have my matrix up, like the DM basically explained, like it'd be going through like a hot knife through butter. Like it would be like someone pouring like phosphorus on your skin. It just like burns right through you. So this stuff is insanely vicious, but like it's slowed down significantly because of the multiple defensive layers, and it's still going through those defensive layers. Like let's not pretend like it's just like stopping everything. But every second I'm exposed to this, like as long as my matrix doesn't collapse, it's building my strength up more and more. Because if you guys remember, I'm like Bishop from X-Men, only instead of absorbing energy and re-projecting it, it builds up my strength while I have that matrix up, which is kind of like a scary technique. So I get to the point where it's like I was telling the DM, it's like I'm kind of like wrestling with her, trying to like get that explosion off, but it's like I don't want my matrix to like, because if it pops, like I lose that strength. So like there is an overwhelming point. So I was like, DM, like I try to like don't let it get more than 75%, you know, to be able to do it. And it's one of those ones like where I get it, like I get the opening, and I boom hit her with like one of those like extra vicious shots to the stomach, and the DM's like, oh, I think I did it once before that with some of it, and it's like it felt so solid. It's like, but it cracked her good, and then we kind of like wrestled a bit, and then the next one I hit her with, like it's like the fully charged one, and boom, like she buckled a little bit, but it still felt like I was punching a wall. And it's like that's where I had that realization when I was talking about earlier, is like Emrys is this ether smith whose entire character concept is to build like these armors and weapons that make him effective at fighting people above his level, or like give him boosts that would like kind of artificially inflate. The problem is I was on vacation when this started. I didn't bring like an armory with me or anything like that. I didn't bring like any of my gear. So it's just like I'm out here like bare fist brawling this Super Saiyan 3, which is the worst place that this character could ever be in. But it is what it is. Lesson learned on that one. Apparently even when we're going on vacation, we've got to like gear up and everything like that. But the second punch is a good one, but it's still not enough. And she makes some comment, and so I was like, damn, and she making the comment, I headbutt her. And it's just like, that's where I had that realization. It's like, it's one of those knockdown, drag out fights. It's like, this isn't what Everest was made for. Like, he's not supposed to be like bare fist brawl like a Super Saiyan 3. And she stops the headbutt, and she looks like she's about to like do something extra vicious to me, and then I get moved out of the way and by someone insanely fast, and I'm like, please let them be on my side, because like at this point, like I'm at like maybe 35% power. Like the hit almost knocked me out of Super Saiyan 2 earlier, and like I'm like away from the Rohan meditation, and there's this like pretty tanky looking Super Saiyan 4 there, this woman, and she gives me the code word. She gives me the code phrase about like the sun sets on something like that, or the sun rises on something, and like my phrase is like, and I kind of like take this long look around at this chaotic fight. Not a long look because people were like, I said that I was like, damn, I kind of take a look long. I was like, and sets on a graveyard, and she kind of extends her hand to me, and she's like, you must be Everest. It's like, and it's High Castle, and she's a second to zero, and I'm like, yes, damn, get her. You go take care of that Super Saiyan 3. And it's just like we kind of had like that very brief thing. I was like, Pan's still safe. I was like, she's over there. There's this Super Saiyan 3 is trying to kill us. Like that's who you took me away from. She's like, got it. And she kind of gets back, and like Mitsukaru is messed up at this point. Like if she was at 100%, like this would definitely be more of a fight. But between Mira and I, like we have whittled her down significantly, but we've also been whittled ourselves down. And Mitsukaru says something like, she's like, I was close, like, I was close, wasn't I? Like, I guess she was close to achieving her goal. And High Castle puts her in the dirt, and it was satisfying. Like, I wish I could have been the one to do it, but at this point, do not care if it was me or somebody else who gave the finishing blow, just that the finishing blow was done. And I explained to her what's going on. I was like, as quick as I can, I was like, I need to get back in there. I was like, if you could guard us while this happens, that would be amazing. Because Pan's kind of in there. Rohan's in there. He dies if I don't do this. And she's like, I got you covered. So I go back in, and that's where I'm put on pause. And oh my gosh, what a freaking disaster of a session. Oh, at some point earlier, like whenever Mitsukaru showed up, like I yelled out for Kato because I was like, it's like if Kato and I are the squad at this point, like we're the I don't want to say like we're like the level up slayers, but like we're kind of getting that name where like the two of us fighting together have a pretty decent track record of beating people a level above us. Where as like Dakuan, Mira, and I, that was a kind of rough fight versus Quintus because I had just hit 2, like where, like it's like a fresh 2 versus a 3 versus like a maybe not a long form 3, but someone who's been 3 for quite some time. That's a tough ask. But like Kato and I are like well into 2 at this point, and like the two of us fighting together seemed like we play off each other well enough to create openings and have some abilities that are vicious enough to like upset those fights. I didn't have the same luck with Mira. She sucks. Sorry, DM. But yeah, so I could called out for Kato, but like in the chaos, he just didn't hear me. So I was like, well, screw it. I was like, I guess it's Mira and I that we're gonna do this one, and we failed miserably. But thankfully, High Castle comes along. That was the thing where that thought I was having earlier is I need to go talk to Dakuan and be like, oh, that was so jumping around a little bit here. When I had contacted Hikaru, he was basically saying that I was at the epicenter of all the destruction that happened on Hegel, I think it was, and I basically laid it all out to him. I was like, here's what happened. I was like, there was this faction that was tracking this person, and they used something of my ether thing. Like it was like they basically deployed a weapon. Like it wasn't, I didn't have ties to it. And I was like, I basically explained to him what had happened to his. It's not his world, but he's a big part of it. Like he's one of the big leaders of the mercenary guild. I was like, this is what happened, the best of my knowledge. This is a weapon that was deployed on your world, and it was kind of a last-ditch effort. It was slightly unrelated to the thing we're doing with the thing. As far as I know, we're still on for the meeting. I was like, we're going there now, so I'm giving you the coordinates. Hopefully we'll see you there. that was kind of the conversation I had with him. And then the thought that I've canceled 2 or 3 times is I need to go talk to Dakuan and be like, listen, dude, like apparently I need Super Saiyan 3 a lot more than you do, because I'm out here taking fights that are so much worse than yours. Like, he had, like, the pirate fight, and yeah, he was fighting a second Azuru, but, like, Rohan Hulk was, like, bashing threes like it was nothing. And from my experience with the Lobo Hulk thing is, they went toe-to-toe with a second Azuru before. And, like, Emrys is a 2 and didn't ascend to 3 or anything like that during that fight. Like, yeah, I didn't expect him to ascend to 3 because he's not even long for him, so he's, like, a long ways off. But, like, in addition to that, like, Emrys is basically fighting a fleet of originators at this point, whereas like Dakuan was going after like a group of pirates and everything like that. And I'm sure they had their own fleet, but like Dakuan had like tens, if not hundreds of thousands of soldiers with him and everything like that. It's just like, it's like, apparently I need the personal army a lot more than you do, brother, because like I am in so far over my head at this point, and it's just like, oh my gosh, like the people in my family who are more powerful than me and have more resources, like you need to remember, like Emrys's squad is a ragtag group of a very untalented form up girl, the non-fighter Rohan, Pan, the very gifted and Helix person, which I did get to see, which I didn't cover, but I've already covered it off. The Helix person, who's still a Super Saiyan 1 that probably can't take me. Like, I don't think... I think that was kind of because we had like a little back and forth. I was like, well, can you take me now that you got the Helix? And she's like, no, I'm still a far ways off. So Pan at Super Saiyan can't even take me. And we're taking on like 3s and second Azuru level threats. So it's just like, I need to get me a better squad of people. Like, so far it's me and Kato, like, doing the heavy lifting, and then we've got, like, one talented but very young and not quite there yet person, and then 2, like, untalented fighters. And it's just like, man, I need a better squad than this. Like, I need to go out and recruit some better allies. I need to make some friends with, like, I need to get, like, Hikaru on my squad and be like, have him on speed dial. Like, Hikaru, man, you're a cybernetic second Azuru. I got this problem. Could you come help me out? Because, like, Dakuan has, he has, like, a very potent second, what was her name? Start with an O. I'm not gonna look it up because I'm already long into this thing. And then like he commands like tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of troops, which are like Super Saiyans to Super Saiyan 2s, and like they're a military force. And it's like I legitimately think like the thing that Emrys is in right now is something far bigger and far more difficult than the fight that he had that made his name. That kind of got him the leadership role and everything like that he got within Makoto's systems and everything like that. That's why I was like, you need to give me the Super Saiyan, because I need it more than you do at this point. Like, you need to give me some Super Saiyan 3 powers and give me this army to just kind of follow me around when I'm on my adventures. This wasn't even an adventure. Like, this was me coming back from a vacation and getting kidnapped. Yeah, so that was where my session ended. It's a freaking disaster at this point. Like, I was getting ready. I was ready to say goodbye to Rohan in this fight, because when the dragon powers didn't like outright kill Mitsukaru, which I don't know what I was expecting. Like, I know like Silver gave me a fraction of the power, like a little bit of power to mess with, and I guess it wasn't so much that it would let me outside my realm. But like it did. Like, here's the thing that kind of gets me is I feel like Emrys with Harlequin speed and at 100%. Fighting with like 1 or 2 other people could have maybe like given Mitsukaru a run for his money without the dragon stuff. Now, without like the thing, like the dragons definitely was the only reason that turned out the way it is. Like, I don't see that fight going well at all, and I see Rohan dying in the process. So they did let me save Rohan, at least for now. But yeah, like I was kind of hoping those dragons would just be like, yeah, that's a wrap for Super Saiyan 3 Mitsukaru. But nope, they weren't. She was extra vicious, and I'm gonna go have a talk with Silver about holding out on some power. It's like, listen, you need to understand who I am and why I need this power. Like, I'm in the face of Galactic Republic level threats. Like, you can't be shorting me on some power like that. Like, but she only gave me that to like suss out who I am as a person and like how I would use it and everything like that. And at the end of the day, I didn't use it like overly intelligent. Like, it was just like, well, screw it, I got to use it here. Like, there's no like second guessing it or anything like that. It's like, oh, we're using it because this fight's outside my scope. and we'll see if it does anything. At least it did do something, and at least it was enough to like kind of knock us down. That eventually kind of led us to the victory, but like that victory was also at the hands of the Second Azure, which I feel like would have killed her or would have been able to beat her anyway. But it's just, I guess, like it kind of gave us the time to. I think it essentially like saved Rohan for now. So that's where I was put on pause. Things are still a hectic mess. We're gonna try to like finish this out because I see like we were close to it. At this point, I'm wondering if I even have enough power left in me to be able to do this. But we're gonna find out. It's terrible. We're so far away from the forge at this point. Oh, that was the thing the DM was cracking up with earlier. Was like when Rohan's raging out, and like I think like when Pan had reached out to him one point, she was doing that thing where she like I think she touched his hand or something like that. And I was like, DM from behind her, I was like, the sun's getting real low, big guy, real low, and he just started losing it because it's just like that, throw back the images and everything like that. But it was a hilarious moment. Good times overall. Terrible that I'm so far away from the forge.